2027 is fast approaching and a lot of changes are coming on board. It was very beautiful arrangement for APC in 2023 by saying the only way we could win was to have a Muslim ticket. When you say Muslim ticket, most people don't understand. It's when you have the president being a Muslim and also the vice president being a Muslim or a governor being a Muslim, the deputy being a Muslim. Especially this becomes an issue where the entire demography, is represented by many religions and all that, especially Christians and Muslims, sharing a very large proportion, across either in Nigeria or in a particular state. I think we started seeing that from Kaduna State that used to have, Christian Muslim ticket,
Yeah.
and Erufai did it, and Tinubu tried to do it, citing that when Abiola did it, Nigerians never reacted against that. Now, we are seeing a situation where some people are calling for Shettima to be replaced with a Christian. And APC from the North Central Forum says it's going to be a big miscalculation. We won by this model. Why do you want to change a winning team?
Well, first of all, I want to start from Erufai. Those are one of the things he did that are very evil in this country today. You cannot take... See, that's the indignation a lot of people have against Erufai. Erufai, when he was minister of this Federal Capital Territory, was my man. I mean, any day, any time. I didn't see religion, I didn't see ethnicity. Me, myself, being someone that's schooled in Zaria, do you understand? And development in Abuja. But when he moved to Kaduna, as a governor of Kaduna State, he wore that garment of religion and ethnicity and did all that he did in Kaduna State. A lot of people have not forgiven him. That's why you see Ubasani has a soaring follower right now. But let's say it as it is, and on a political terrain. The best doesn't mean it's Muslim or Christian or Christian Muslim. The leaders that rules us are not actually leaders, they are rulers. Because what they think about first is themselves, not you or I. And I want to ask a question. When Buhari was in government, how did development in the North go? I mean, we had the worst security situation in Katsina, which is still moving like a wildfire on a dry bush till today. What am I saying? I support a Christian Muslim, but far above this, I support good leadership that touches every part of this country. Listen, the terrorists that are killing.
But those that argue this says that you have good leaders among Muslims, you also have good leaders among Christians. Why not pick good leaders in the Islamic community and pick good leaders in the Christian community instead of just pick all the two good leaders from
the Muslim community? Well, you see, the two leaders they picked from the Muslim community, they are politicians. They were looking of how to win. And I said that doctrine that they adopted, that there is no popular Christian from the North, is all a facade. It's not true. I don't support it in any way. But like I said, beyond that is good leadership. Listen, Okafor, let's tell the truth as it is. If we're all enjoying peace in this country, when Abiola did it, why didn't we say Muslim? Because we were not conscious of those kind of things at the time. Nobody even knew this one was a Muslim, this one was a Muslim. No, even from Kano State, SDP won from Kano State, even from Katsina, SDP won from Katsina, and so major.
So you think it's going to be a political suicide for Asiwaju to change Shettima like these people are calling?
Well, at this particular point, on a political platform, I think it's going to be suicidal for him.
Okay. Yeah, let's come to that. You see, the argument these people are putting forward is this. That they actually say this. They assumed that for any reason, Obi gets a ticket, either in ADC or even anywhere. What they are saying is that Obi voters are not suddenly going to come and vote for Asiwaju simply because Asiwaju has decided to choose a Christian running mate. So that all he will succeed in doing with that kind of arrangement is to even discourage certain Islamic voters from the north that would have ordinarily voted for him. And the question, if you also say religion doesn't matter, why will it matter in you winning? And when you now drop the person, it matters in them not voting you. That means religion matters. If religion will make them to not vote you, if Asiwaju picks a Christian running mate, that will make some northern voters not to vote for him. That means religion matters.
It does. No, we can't say that deceive ourselves. He made mention of Abiola time. But that time we were not well divided along ethnic line, religious line. We were not. We were like one Nigeria. Remember, my parents were in Kano, in Jos. We had some Muslims neighbors who go to the house and eat. You can hardly demarcate between these things. But along the line, the new political generation we had, they started dividing us according to religious and ethnic lines, which cannot discard. What we do now, most in Nigeria, we do politics. We look at those that can do politics, not those that can govern. Politics and governance are two different things. We have people that can do politics. That's what they do last time. They've done their political calculation. They didn't put in place, they didn't even think about governance. How do I win the election? That's all they care about in Nigeria. And again, why this is important now for Tinubu, don't discard Trump's intervention.
Yeah.
Country of particular concern. They are trying to create a narrative that Christians Nigerians are suffering. And even one of their assembly members mentioned of it. Says under this man that this is change. He has to be Christian, Muslim, Christian. That has been interchanged. But suddenly under him, this has happened. And because it has happened, he has emboldened these people to contest the attacks. So we shouldn't discard that. Tinubu will need to survive his presidency. Not just winning the election. He needs to appear to the world that he is not a religious bigot.
Oh, okay.
It happened before, people let go, but now...
let's go to the winning of the election. And the votes Shettima is going to magnetize into that ticket. You think there is no Christian in the north that can magnetize that same vote? Plus, minus. What do I mean? The group said Asiwaju is going to lose certain votes if he changes Shettima. Okay? Now, do you think there is any Christian politician that Asiwaju will pick from the north and the politician will be able to bring the votes that will be able to cancel the people that will say, oh, we are not going to vote for Asiwaju simply because he dropped Shettima? Do you think there's going to be a Christian politician that's going to give him that sufficient traction?
Any Christian politician can attract that traction. That's the truth. I want you to know that I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned Tofa as the presidential candidate from Kano, one of the leading voters domain where you harvest votes. What happened to Tofa in Kano? It's majorly not about the vice president, knowing that the vice president is just a spare tire. It doesn't have much impact. Anybody he could have picked would have gone a long way. We had this former Speaker of the House. That's what's his name now? The man from Bauchi State, Dogara. That was someone that everybody was rumored to maybe come on board as the vice president, but he didn't pick him because he has decamped from PDP to APC at the time. Now, anybody he picked, they would have still followed, and
okay,
the people
now
would
let me
vote for
also
them.
come to you. Christians, why a minority, no doubt, they still have significant numbers in the north.
Yes.
Does it mean that the political calculation of the north does not regard those votes?
Yes, they don't. You see, let me tell you something. Look at Adamawa State, for example. Now, what's the demography in Christian Muslim?
Almost equal now.
Do you understand? Look at Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa.
Those are Christian dominated.
Do you understand? Now, even the Bauchi that we are talking about, Bauchi has a large population of Christians in Bauchi.
Yes.
Do you understand? Up in the Mambila, what do you have there is mostly a Christian dominated. It's a Christian in fact, the governor and the deputy governor are all Christian. That's in Taraba State.
Taraba.
Do you understand? Even the Maiduguri that we are even talking about, there's a large chunk of Christian communities in that Maiduguri that you are talking about. I mean, a lot of my professors then, they were from that area. It's just only that there's a dominance of a Muslim Hausa Fulani in politics in that area. The cardinal we are talking about, that you see,
It's almost
exactly. Do you understand? So if we are looking at equity, justice, they should look at how to even bring Christians in this kind of politics. It helped everybody to dose a lot of tension.
All right, he was talking about performance. Now, why this is not to x-ray the current performance? Do you think a Christian being in Asiwaju's ticket would have increased his performance or reduced his performance?
It won't make any difference because, as we know, vice president, deputy governors, they are the mercy of their principal. So that's whether Christian or Muslim, I think he would have been treated the same. But switching from a Muslim to a Christian, for me, it will affect him politically. Why do I say so? Most Christians don't care about who is the vice. Most Nigerians don't care. If another party flants a Christian candidate that's winnable, even though you have a vice president that's a Christian,
it won't do much.
It won't do much.
All right.
So they are.
All right. I think that's very significant. We are talking about arresting protesters in Edo State because they were protesting against insecurity. Almost at the same time, Kano State government was processing how to release over 70
Katsina
government rather over how to release over 70 terrorists from the prison in the name of peace with criminals, or peace with who, for what? So I mean, how bad can you become in the field of crime so that government will stop arresting you and start negotiating with you? Because if you steal, maybe you stole a goat, or you stole money, or you stole this microphone, you'll be arrested and probably tried and sent to Kuje. So what is the level of degree that your crime should get to in terms of being, really dastardly in act, like killing pregnant women like these bandits do, ransacking our farms and chasing everybody away, or taxing our farmers? So are they encouraging people to go into serious crimes so that government can negotiate with them? Because these people, they are not fighting for a just cause. This is different when you have freedom fighter fighting for a just cause or a certain cause. Even fighting for, how do I call it? Fighting for self-determination is even lawful, is legal in all over the world.
Like what Nnamdi Kanu did.
Provided you are not violent about it.
Yeah.
So what are these people fighting for that the government is negotiating with them? Is government negotiating with them from the point of incapacitation?
I know the other day I said it here. I said one governor that the citizenry of that state should make sure they kick out is the Katsina State governor. This is not the first time he's negotiating with bandits. Katsina State is one state where more than 20-something local government are negotiating with the bandits, and we did not hear the voice of the governor. Now look at KB State and some other states in that, as the Sokoto. The governors are coming out to talk. Governor Lawal, and say that security is not in my hand. In Zamfara, exactly. He said, he said, security is not in my hand. He's coming out to talk. Have you ever heard any day, any time that the governor of Katsina said he's coming out to talk and say, please, I need help, my state is under siege, this one, that one? Have you ever heard him? That means he's somewhat of an accomplice to this bandit. He has a soft spot to this bandit. Now, underground, because the papers were leaked, underground, the papers came out that he was clamoring for these bandits to be released. We also have on record that most of these bandits that are released, when they go back, they do worse things. Which it was a system they adopted in the northeast during Buratai's era. That Zulum said, let's reintegrate them. And it didn't work. They went back after they've gotten information. So why will you adopt a policy or something that doesn't work? Why will you be clamoring for 70 bandits? Now, somebody even said the other day, he said, Toji, is roaming the streets of all the northern states. Meanwhile, someone like Nnamdi Kanu is in prison.
See, I'm surprised that you're saying this way. Me, for one, I'm not quite surprised, because if you look at the storyline, this is a state that more than 20 local governments are under the control of bandits. And at the federal level, we've done nothing. What are we doing? Encouraging him. This is a state, by all standards, should have been declared state of emergency. We can't have a country, a part of our sovereignty that's being controlled by a foreign body. That's not controlled by our laws. So when we misplace our priority, it pains me. We were put to declare state of emergency in River State. This is a clear case where we should do that. Why should we allow bandits control more than 20% of the government?
This is the part they don't understand. A young man in Edo State who was detained for protesting against insecurity. We hear in the news that another Nigerian who is committing a crime in Katsina is being negotiated with. With that, how patriotic would that person feel when we have two laws for different sets of Nigerians
in the same country?
Same country.
That's been the problem of this country. We judge based on different people. It might not be right here, but I need to say it. I was talking to somebody off camera. He said something. Said during Buhari, say go to police station. Say, how do you say Fulani? I don't know how true he is. He tried to instigate that some section of members of the country, they are immune from their sins. No, until people will start being held accountable for what they do. This is not about to stop. Why would a governor of a state that knows the law go and negotiate with bandits? How come the state house are keeping quiet? So if we allow this to happen, other states within the average will take suit.
Okay, now this is let's get to this. This is also beyond just the governor. The dastardly act that happened last weekend in Kaduna State, where we have over 160 worshippers kidnapped, and the police authority denied that it never happened. I mean, then later succumbed. How effective is our policing? Or does it mean they are aware and they are complicit? Because police are the people that should know first. They should actually be the one to tell the people what happened. That we're after these people, but look at this. For them to now come out to deny, imagine the time lapse between the time they denied to the time people now said no, it happened. That was even a sufficient time to have rescued those that were kidnapped. And we've not heard that the commissioner of police is removed. We've not heard that anything has happened. I mean, when we were classified as a country of particular concern, all we could look at was that, oh, maybe Americans need something from Nigeria. I'm not ruling that away anyway. I don't know. Yeah. But ordinarily, we should put our house in order.
You see, the police need what you call a rejigging of the Nigerian police force. I think the headship of the Nigerian police force now, they've overspent their time. They have become of not any value to us. They are well spent. Now, looking at the police denying of something that really happened, Okafor,
160 persons.
160.
Over 160 persons.
160.
I said, well, it took Atiku, OBI, the Khan, and the likes to start, hitting them hard.
Who will reward the police in this country? This is a man that have come to change the whole Nigeria. I don't have the capacity to do my work. You can't say that once people were kidnapped, I didn't know.
I remember when they were doing campaign, they said Tinubu will be in charge of economy, Shettima will be in charge of security. What's happened?
That's what I'm saying. Because now it's obvious that we have wrong people at some offices. He's a police officer that have come out to tell Nigerians, I am not capable of holding this position. But you can't tell me that if you have a cameraman that ought to man the camera in this studio, and he's not aware that batteries are not ready, and you still take the person. No, you're not working on the job. You're not working on the job.
All right, we'll continue with this. We expect something to happen. Whether heads should roll, in Kaduna, something should happen to the commissioner, redeployed, something. For something like that to happen, and you say it didn't happen, that is very, very hopeless. It can't be more hopeless.